David, sometimes when you're speaking to a representative of UKIP, tendency to talk about the European issues. How hard is it to get the key messages of health and education, crime and justice? How hard is it for you to get that message out there?
Well, I'm head of policy for UKIP, and it's really my job to come up with all the domestic policies. We do have a whole range of domestic policies. We've got 18 policy groups working away, and we've launched 7 of those papers already in key areas like education and crime and energy and defence, for example, and some tax papers. So we're not just about Europe. I think it's very important to stress, we are very relevant right across the board, and in the next general election, which isn't very far away, you'll see we have a full range of domestic policies as well.
Is it interesting that one thing about policing is that it seems to be, it was on the news this morning about some counties, some forces going back to a sort of zero tolerance approach.
Yes.
Hark back maybe to the 70s, etc.
Yes.
Is that something you would encourage?
Yes, it is. It's in our paper, Law and Order paper. What we are proposing on Law and Order, one of the many things, is elected police boards. We feel there's an awful lot of diktat coming down from Whitehall telling local people how to police. Too much political correct targets. What we want is direct elected police boards which reflect what people want. The priorities should come up the way from the grassroots and should reflect what local people want in terms of policing. And we believe in doubling the number of prison places because, frankly, we have a lot more crimes in the UK than a lot of comparative countries. We should reflect that. We don't have enough prisons. And frankly, that means it backs up all the way down and people get let off when they should be behind bars.
And what about things like a drugs policy? I mean, some people believe that now we're going to turn from, 40 years ago Nixon declared a war on drugs. Some people believe now that war is over and we have to see it as a public health problem. Do you still see that the war is still on?
Well, I can understand the thinking behind that, to be honest. I mean, our view is, this is something really for a referendum. For the people to decide on drugs policy, and we're very much a part of democracy. We believe in referenda right across the board on a lot of issues, but I mean this is a good one for a big debate. It should be decided directly by the people. I think it's difficult for political parties to adopt a position on something as sensitive as that, but a referendum is the way forward.
There's the town council by-election in Billericay on Thursday, and here you are in Stamford-le-Hope. But it must encourage the grassroots that the big guns are coming out and really supporting the grassroots.
Well, absolutely. Well, this is my area. I'm MEP, one of the 2 UKIP MEPs for the East of England. It's a very important area for us. We have a big membership here. Billericay, we hope to win this seat on Thursday. We have a great opportunity, good, strong local candidates. As I say, we're not just about the European Union. We actually stand for some very clear, common sense domestic policies. And that will be reflected, I think, in the election result here.
And do you think you can go on and May the 6th next year and the general election convert all that?
I believe so, actually. I think there's a mood in the country for a real change. Which I would notice, on the doorsteps in the European campaign in June. Yes, I think there's MP expenses has actually caused a real furore. People are very fed up with the old guard of the Lib Lab Con, as we call them, the 3 parties, and you really can't tell the difference now between all those policies on those 3 parties. And UKIP has radical change. Things have got very serious, European Union. They're trying to run our country now. Barroso, the president of the commission, has just been re-elected. He wants an immigration commissioner. He wants us to take 30,000 extra immigrants every year. He wants a justice commissioner. He wants a climate change commissioner to run our lives. And this is very relevant to people's issues on the ground.